You can tell yourself that Marvel Select Colossus fits in perfectly with a Marvel Legends display as much as you want, but it's simply not true. I can, however, see why you'd want to believe so, because look at him! He's a perfect classic Colossus with a costume that has aged perfectly well since the 70s and is by far his most iconic look. Fortunately, the figure does have a couple of aesthetic flaws. His lower legs are super long, so with that as a starting point, I set it upon myself to once again shorten a figure. After some basic googling, I found out that I wasn't the first one to do this. A man who shall only be known as 1987 Olds 442 had already shortened him by his lower legs with a great result. Unfortunately, his methods were of no help, seeing as I can't for the life of me understand how he made a solid pin connection on the inside with no outward damage. If you're watching this, please, I have to know! Okay, so what I first did was to make a mock-up in MS Paint. I find this helpful with pretty much every project I start. My plan was to collapse his upper body slightly lower onto his abs, remove one section of his upper legs, and remove a big chunk from his lower legs. Fortunately, his arms are slightly on the shorter side as it is, so I think it avoids the orangutan effect. Okay, so first off I disassembled him. I heated him up with a hairdryer and just pulled everything straight off. After that, I had to look through my fodder bin for some new joints to use for his feet. After a while, I found some play arch joints that were the right size. Unfortunately, they were brown, so I had to spray paint them red. So this is a procedure I've done quite a lot to make rocker ankles. First, I drill a hole the same size as the pin into the leg, then I hollow out the leg part so the ball connection blends into the leg sculpt. Now for the torso. I drill deeper into the torso to give the peg a new stopping point, and then I start hollowing out the torso to give more clearance for his abdomen. On a side note, if you have the Marvel Select Venom, I highly recommend you hollow out his torso so you can actually use the torso joint. So here's the new endpoint, and here's the old. That's about half a centimeter's difference. Here comes the scariest bit. I grinded away a full section of his metal plating. After that, I had to hollow out and match the original shape of the hip joint. Here you can see how much height this shaved off. And here you can see the final results! I'm very pleasantly surprised just how much height I managed to get rid of. Here's a scale chart. Colossus is officially listed at 7.5 feet, so compared to the average Marvel Legends body, Bucky Cap, being around 6'2", it matches up pretty perfectly.
Be a hero.
Let's go, bub.
Kind of a softie if you ask me. He's just so quiet.
This is a shameful and reckless use of your powers.
Bodies of iron. Большой победа!